It's now or never. I know that may feel a little dire or like I'm talking about the ending of the world, but I could be. But I'm actually talking about my life, your life, and the world because it's all connected. That's why we are here now. When you look at the world and question what is occurring, we are splitting apart. That's what's happening. We're splitting, but we've done that before. We're splitting in a way that will cause more to be revealed or created or manifested if we understand our importance in the world and contribute to it. We are living in an energetic world. We each come in to offer something. Now, when we don't do that, it ends up being really challenging and difficult for us, and then we're not offering anything of benefit to the world that could cause a world to manifest that would be something that we would like or want to live in or want our kids to experience. That is what is happening now. And it's more than just the war in Ukraine. It's all over. You'll see separations happening in many, many different countries, even in my country, because that's going to come up as well, and we're going to have more trauma. But the point of that is to get you to do something. It's to get you to move. It was to get me to move. We come into the world to offer something. Now, sometimes we don't know what that is. We come in with trauma. We're all born limited. Every single person is born limited, meaning that there's always more that we can do during our lives. That's the only reason to be born. But we get stuck. I got stuck. I had a terrible time growing up. I had so many challenges and difficulties, and failures and judgment and every imaginable thing that you can think of. And this was not a life worth living. That's the fact of it. Just wasn't. But then in 1988, 89, I started receiving information, which seemed so crazy and weird and strange to me, and that I couldn't hold on to, and I couldn't manage it. Except what I found is that over the years, with all the stuff that began to happen, because there were more things that happened even after that time in my life. So many things that happened, hospitalizations, illness, accidents, just on and on, but nobody knew. Because I hid that, because I was so good at it, and nobody even knew the times that I was in the hospital, which were a few. And I was able to carry on and do my work. And how did that happen? I was diligent. I kept going. I never stop. I always go until I get to where I'm supposed to go, even though it's been really challenging. And the thing that was the most challenging was me holding back, was my embarrassment. That's all. We come in, we carry this shame and guilt and all of this stuff that keeps us stuck. We can't do what we're meant to do. What I'm saying is that every single person is born with something of value that they could give to the world to make things a lot better. So for most of my life, many of you would never have known even about my meditating, my writing, my automatic writing, any of that, even though that's how I did everything. Even when you met me, that's how I did everything. That's how I coached. That's how I wrote books. That's all of it. And it was strange because I didn't know anything like that. My family didn't do anything like that. And I saw other people who were doing it, but that wasn't me. That could not have been me, except it was. And this is why I work with my clients when they start to accept these limited thoughts about who they are and don't have the willingness to move over that. I had to, because I wouldn't have lived if I didn't do something that was going to change. 2 years ago, a little more than 2 years ago, I started receiving different information. And it was crazy and weird. And I thought, I can't tell people this because they're going to become undone. They're going to become frightened. Whatever. I didn't know. I just knew that I needed to do something to give people calm and peace. Now, how did I know that? That didn't even make sense to me. But it was there. Then I started receiving information about what was going to occur in the world, and then I started seeing it happen. And that's what's the thing that happened last night. I am watching TV. I happened to turn on the news or something I happened to see, and in Germany there was a meeting of all of these countries, more than 40 countries or more, that have come together to broker some kind of movement or peace, I mean, that's crazy. It's never happened. There's so many things that have not happened that we're experiencing now. That came through in all of my writings. But what happened when I saw this last night? I go, okay, I can't do this anymore, because I put it out in one of my messages in my Wilhelm in the Any Advice message today, because I showed the specific part that I received in 2020 about what was coming up and what might happen, and then I kept saying, I kept writing, the United States will lead the way. That was insane, because we were in the worst place. We were in horrible COVID. Sometimes we were in lockdowns. And it would look terrible. And the rest of the world was looking at us saying, wow, they're a mess. And then last night I saw what I wrote, what came to me more than 2 years ago to basically prepare me. And then the other day, I received something where they said, you have been prepared. We all have. We don't end up somewhere accidentally. We have a process that we're moving through in our lives, and we have to, when we understand it, it awakens us to why we're here, because everybody's got something. That's what I'm saying. We just hold it back, we fear it, we doubt it, or a lot of different reasons. However, you can fix it. That's what I did. But I didn't even know I was doing that. When I kept getting this information about my program, Your Life Operating Instructions, that sounded insane as well, except I did it and it worked. How did that happen? Well, even if I go back and think, I've been doing this work for more than 34 years, doing that kind of work. Well, of course, I should have something. I've moved through all of those things. I've healed more things than anybody can possibly imagine, and I'm 71 years old. How did that happen? It was from the work that I did. That's all. And why am I understanding this now? Because I kept doing the work. So what I know is this is what's supposed to happen. Every person who has something is being awakened to that now. Every person who believes that they have something in their lives that they're meant to offer, it's coming up now. It's in front of you. And the only choice we make is, are we going to act on it, or are we going to stay afraid and doubt and in fear and all of that stuff? And I stayed in fear for way too long. Doubt and fear. And again, I was guided through that, because doubt is what we're going to always have. And we have the doubt until we do something. So I did something. And then I thought, wow, it was ridiculous to doubt myself. And it was ridiculous to hold myself back for fear of judgment, which is what most people do, for a lot of different reasons. And I'm telling you, it's going to come up more in the next several months. Through this year, we're going to have a lot more of that coming up, and you're going to want to own who you are and feel secure. But beyond that, you need to get working on you and creating what you want in the world, because you have something, and if you allow it to come through, it will be really successful. You'll have the life that you always thought of. Every single person has that. I didn't believe it until I got something that was going to do it. So the other day, I met a person who's a big business mentor, coach kind of thing, and he was so excited to meet with me about his, because he saw all my stuff and went to the website, and then we had another meeting this morning, and my dream was answered. He is going to work with me because he knows the value of this, and he wants to get it to bigger audiences across the world, to everywhere. Because we know that if we shift the energy of the individual, of you, if you start doing something, you're putting a different kind of energy in the world. You're not out there yelling and screaming and putting hate out, because hate and judgment and all those things are lower energies. That's what creates wars, you see. Light, love, and working on you creates a completely different energy, and it uplifts us all. And everyone has the ability, and the only thing you have to do is choose. That's it. So the reason I'm sending this is not going to be a public video, by the way. It's only going to people who are on my list and those who are in my group on Facebook, Your Life Operating Instructions, and those who are subscribed to Wilhelm, who come to the Wilhelm. I want you to know this. So this is what I'm doing. I'm giving this, we're going to start something next week, but I am this week, just only until Saturday. You can get my program at this special rate. And then what happens is you will be able to, after the 4 weeks, that's where we're starting, but after the 4 weeks, you will be able to come to the weekly Zoom group calls as long as you want. because you're going to want some help. You're going to want some support, being around like-minded people, getting through this next bit of period of time. Then after that, we're putting things into a new platform, basically. So that's why it's going to take a few weeks. But everyone who took the 4 weeks, I want you back in the group, in the Zoom calls, and those who come in now, you will have this special rate which no one else will have ever, because I've talked about this so much, and everyone said this is what I charged was ridiculous, but I needed to get it going. The reason I'm doing this, and I can only take 10 people because I don't need more than that, because we're going to, after this next period of time, we're going to release this in a bigger way. It's going to be much more expensive, trust me. So this is what I want to give to you, because I need testimonials. I have a few from before, but not enough. And so the more that I have, the greater difference I know I'm making, number one, in the world, because I'm seeing that and I'm feeling the energy of that, but it also helps me to sell my program. I don't want to do this forever. I want to retire just like everyone else, but I also want to leave a legacy, and I know this is it. I'm going to leave something that's going to have my name be around forever, because it is something that I have put together, which I never thought was going to happen, that is life-changing. And with these 10 people, you have to come out of the 4 weeks telling me, because this is guaranteed, by the way, you have to tell me that you feel much more confident in who you are, you're much more aware of your importance in the world and your life purpose, you're happier, you're more courageous, you're more empowered, and you're ready to get on with what you came to the world to offer and create. That's what happened. You must be able to tell me that, otherwise you get your money back. That's the guarantee. But again, it's only 10 people. And I was so thrilled. I asked for this. You know, when you ask for something, you get out of your way and you start and go out and do something, it happens. But as you know, I am not the business person. I've never been that. My thing is about how can I work with the individual? How can I cause you to know who you are and own yourself and love yourself and offer something of worth and value to the world? That's what I want to do. And so now this other person, he said he's going to take care of the business part, which is wonderful for me. You see, so I don't have to do that, because it's I've never cared about that. Any of you who might have known me, that's been my weirdness. However, now it's more important. Now it's important because there, as I've said many times, there's a wealth and income. This has gone on throughout civilizations. If you've studied the history, you will know that. But what we have, so we can understand how important it is for each of us to offer something so we can create the kind of world that we want to have. So that's where I'm at. I can't tell you how thrilled I am for this new development, and it's going to be a great one for those of you who decide to come in. And I'm going to be with you the entire time. And if you think you can go, it's guaranteed. So think about this. It's guaranteed you can stay as long as you want, and you've got to get all those results. Do you see? You have to receive those results. And you get them because you're doing the work and showing up at the Zoom call, but that's it. And if you think that you can go to another, get into a coach or a program or a therapist or a counselor or whatever for this kind of money for as long as you want, then do that. But I want 10 people who are serious about owning who they are, getting out of their way, finally understanding the value that they've brought to the world, and living a life that they wanted to. It was so great when I was meeting with the guy today. We both came up with this thing. Our purpose is happiness. No one has understood that, and I read him a message that I received a long time ago, because we forget that. We came to the world to live a happy life. And we know that because when we're doing the things that we were meant to do, because it's ingrained, it was ordained, it was given to you, when you're doing that, you're happy. But most times we're stuck in something we hate, struggling, and all of that. And that's why we end up creating a war in our world, because people don't have enough, and they think they need to take from someone else. It's a whole long thing. But anyway, I want you to understand and think about this, because it's only I get only 10 people, because I can't. I need to be with you and really work with you. So you will have the link where you can get the special rate. It's not what you're going to see on the screen. So you will have that, and I'm so thrilled. And again, those who are in my group, those who took the program in December, please, I want you back in the Zoom calls, because you were the ones who made this happen. You were the ones who blew me away with the results that you received, and I have to hear from you as well. All right, you guys, have a good one. I'll see you soon.